Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first live stream and podcast episode of Seeing Red AU. Just short, it's just going to be called Seeing Red. Already had a little bit of issues setting this up, unfortunately, as I wanted to live stream on X as well, as viewers will be watching now only on YouTube with the live counter up the very top there. This will be on all audio platforms as well, but if you do want to get involved, please make sure that you do comment along as well. So there's a few things we will be talking today, and I'll go through a little bit about myself and my background as well before we start getting into the actual nitty-gritty of it. So my name is Justin Crozer. I've been a fan of Adelaide United for quite some time now. I've gone to a few games, and by a few, I would say probably at 10, 20 or something like that. Never really been a big fan of Adelaide United, and as in football in a whole, so to speak. I didn't really like the game of the flow, but I really wanted to get into the local football scene. And I loved it. Started going to the games and just absolutely loved the atmosphere and things like that. I do a podcast myself called RBL Talk, the biggest English-speaking RB Leipzig podcast. And I really wanted to get Adelaide United and the A-League as a whole as big as possible. So with that, that's the aim of I want for this podcast, is basically to get a lot of people who go to the games, who watch on TV, get them all involved. This is your place that you can say absolutely anything that you want. It'll be absolutely unedited. I'm not looking to make money off this or anything like that. I already make money and things like that on my other podcast. I just really want to get Adelaide United and really kickstart having all fans be able to go to a place, try to do these once a week at the very least, and, get all fans being able to say whatever they want about the game and things like that. So that's pretty much enough for me. We'll go straight into the thick of things. I don't know how long these episodes are going to go. We'll just wait and see how they go. If they go for a long time, half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, less, we'll see how that goes. And hopefully I try and do some live stream watch-alongs as well throughout with this podcast channel, trying to get a lot of more people into the A-League and things like that as well. So the first topic today is Karl Vart. Is it time to part ways? Now let's think about that. So Karl Vart has been with the club for quite some time now. He took over in the season 2019-2020, and he started out with a 40% win ratio with 1.8 points per game as an average. And then it slowly got a little bit better, 1.5, 42, 1.7, 46%, and then it dropped off a little bit, 1.6, 42%, and then we had the horrid season last season, before this current one, 33% win percentage at 1.2 points per game. This season has been not so bad when you look at the statistics here. 1.6%, 43%. Now, it gets to a point in every coach's career that nothing lasts forever. And I'll be blunt here. I like Karl Vart. I like him as a guy. I like him as a manager. He's done really well for us. He's bled in some, good youngsters and things like that. But at the end of the day, if we're not going to get top 6 to play in the playoffs to be going for the title every season, it's just not possible. So if you can't deliver that, that is the bare minimum requirement. Because as a manager, it doesn't matter what football club you go in. If you're around the world, you have minimum targets set out per year. And if you don't meet those minimum targets and requirements, then it's as simple as that. You end up simply, getting fired and having to move on. Now, I would like to know what you think. Would you like to see Karl Vart stay, or would you like him to go? Now, make sure that you drop those comments on the post here. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure you share it around. I will have to get a Premium X subscription so we can start streaming it on X. I didn't realize that was a requirement, that you had to have a premium subscription to live stream there. So I do apologize for this first episode that you were unable to watch this over on X, as I did want to start live streaming on X for the first episode as well, but we'll do that from the second episode. No problem with that whatsoever. I don't mind chucking in a few bucks just to try to get this off as good as possible for every single reach, for every single Reds fan out there. Second one, the topic for today is Ryan Kitto, questions at left back. Now, with Ryan, he's currently the captain of Adelaide United, and he did quite well in some games, but some is being the key word there. He's really looked out of whack there, and he basically got absolutely slaughtered on the weekend against Melbourne Victory with Velupillay just absolutely destroying him down on that left-hand flank there, and he easily cost us with his poor positioning a couple of goals as well. So there's that. And you've got to look at it, and I really think that swapping him into that left-back role mid-season has really harmed us as well, for one. So I don't think he should be playing at left-back, but the stocks are pretty thin there as well. So, yeah, we're going to have some problems with filling that left-back role. And that's pretty much all I want to say on that one. We'll keep these episodes nice and short and sweet as much as possible to start these podcast episodes to try to keep the viewer and the listener retention. We'll go straight into the player ratings and the best on ground for the next game. But I also do want to touch on a little bit before we get into that with Carl Vart, going back to that just moments. As I said, this is live and completely unscripted. So the Adelaide United season statistics for this season is that we're averaging 1.57 points per game. We're conceding an average of 2.14 per game. And we're also scoring an average of 2.19 per game. So the last few games, we've been absolutely hammering the goals in. We've been also getting hammered ourselves, so to speak. And not in a good way. So you've just averaging from home is poor as well. We'll get into that when we do a quick preview of the Sydney FC game as well. And it just looks to be that, we've got such a leaky defence. We really need to shore up the defence. And I honestly have no idea what's to go do at this point. The simple fact is, I think Carl Vart doesn't even know, to be blatantly honest. And when your manager doesn't know what to do, then it doesn't just start at the defense as well. The goalkeeping's been shoddy. Dielinov needs to go as well. That's just, we need a better goalkeeper. We need some better defenders as well. We haven't been defending at all recently, and and that goes into the the player ratings and the best on ground for us anyway against Melbourne Victory. And for me, against Melbourne Victory, the two key players that stand out was Ethan Alagaik and Johnny Yule. Quite far, were easily the best players on the ground on the day. I know there's a bit of a case there for Archie Goodwin as well. He came on and he got his goal. Who's actually second, if I remember correctly, in the Golden Boot Award so far in the A-League, which is really good considering the young lad, under 23-year-old, is doing quite well for himself. As I do believe that there is 3 23 or under people that are in for the top 3 at the moment in the Golden Boot, which is really good to see for the A-League as well. Really good to see the youngsters playing their part and things like that. But I want to go on touch on Ethan Alagaik here, as he turned around and had 69 touches. He played the full 90 minutes, and he made 35 of 49 passes, which was an accuracy rate of 71%. And he had a couple of dribbles as well. He won a lot of his ground duels. He won 11 of 17. He didn't win his aerial duel, though. The big problem I have with his play was the possession lost. In the middle of the park, you shouldn't be losing possession as often as he did, and he lost possession 16 times. So that's where I would say, look, you need to work on your game a little bit there. But that's not just his game as well. That's also to do with how the team's set up and how we're laid out as well. So there's that. And then Johnny Yule, he came on and he did quite well actually. So he played the full 90 minutes and he had 59 touches. He had 25 of 32 passes with an accuracy of 78%. He made two key passes into the final third, which led to some chances. And he won 5 of his 9 ground duels. He lost both his aerial duels, which is something we see across the board with the Adelaide United players. We just aren't very good in the air. He also lost the ball 22 times as well, which is pretty poor. If you're going to lose the ball that often in a game and you can't keep a hold of the ball and can't control the game, then you're not going to be able to win many games of football. So there's that as well. But for me, they were both rated quite high, around about the 7 mark or 7 to 8 mark or something like that. For me, I'd rate them around about a 7.3, both of the players, because I think they were tied. I don't think really anyone else played quite well and well enough. So I think both those players were our best on ground. But I'd like to know what you think. Let me know down in the comments below of this YouTube video and also over on X as well, because I will be posting the full video over there after this live stream. And we'll have a look at our upcoming fixture as well, which is Sydney FC versus Adelaide United, but we're playing at home, playing down at Cooper Stadium again. So this is where I wanted to touch on a little bit here from the team as well from before. We're having a look here. We've played 11 games at home. We've won 3, we've drawn 5, we've lost 3, we've conceded 22 goals, and we've also scored 22 goals. But our points per game is way, way low. And whenever you are a good team in the league, which we should be a good team, but we're not at the moment, and you always want to make your home a fortress. So having a 1.27 average points per game is not acceptable. It's as simple as that. We average better away from home. We average 1.9 points per game. Now, how is that even possible? All right. How can you be so terrible at home, but yet you are better on the road? It's normally the other way around. So we really need to work on our home and making it a fortress, making it something that teams don't want to come and see. I've really enjoyed the Red Army even has been quite well with their support, even away as well. They did quite well. And there's definitely no knock on our support. We've always had good travelling support. Over there for predictions, well, I think it's going to be another loss as well, unfortunately. Like, the stats don't lie, which really suck. I'm not really a stats man myself, but it does give you a bigger and wider view and a different perspective, not just what you're viewing and what you're seeing as well. So it does appear to be that Adelaide United are going to lose against Sydney FC, even though it's 6th versus 7th. We're just hanging on to playing into the finals. So we really need to make sure that we win. There's going to be definitely goals, though. So there's going to be at least 6 goals in this game, I reckon, to put it nicely. I'm probably going to say it's going to be an all-out 3-3 draw. A player that we need to watch in this upcoming game is Douglas Costa. He's a very well-known international player, the 34-year-old player from Brazil. He's played for like Bayern Munich and Juventus and some big clubs around in Europe. So he's definitely one to watch, and he hasn't done as well as you'd think either. So Sydney FC on paper should actually be winning the game and should we be winning the league, but that's not the case at the moment. So we really got to take it and show up for the home fans. And look, if you're going to go down to the game as well over on, I believe it's Saturday night, make sure that you are vocal, help support the Red Army as well, no matter where you are in the stadium, and make sure that it's a very good atmosphere as well. So that's pretty much it, all I have for this quick live stream video and episode. As this podcast grows, hopefully that we'll get more people interacting with the live stream, which is what I want to do. I want to make these completely unscripted, just talk about the game and game events, let every single person around well, obviously in Australia to begin with, and in Adelaide especially, get them to be able to have their voices heard. If you come on the show, there's a booking link that you can put down, and I'll let you know when I'm doing these recordings, and you can jump on the show. You can have your camera turned off as well if you don't want to be visible, and you can say what you like, or if you're going to comment on social media, hopefully we can get these chats going as well. And we'll be able to have people coming onto the show saying what they want through the games. There's also an Instagram, so if you'd help me spread the podcast, share the Instagram and go like the X, and tell your friends as well for what I'm trying to do and try to achieve here. Basically, get every single Reds fan involved with this podcast. Don't want to make money off it. Just want to get every single Reds fan be able to have their voices heard, their opinions heard, because it's the fans that matter, and hopefully get all this on a global stage and have Adelaide United and the A-League as global as possible and things like that. So until next time, I've been Justin Crozer, and I'll see you at the game. Bye-bye for now.